What's up, brothers and sisters? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Let's dig into the stock market today. We had another fade today, so we got a lot to talk about. We have in the stock market, in just our regular watch list, all sorts of shenanigans happening here. Today we had the PPI come out, and it actually came out better than expected for the most part. And so the market gapped up here, and it immediately rolled over. Now, it did pull back into some nice supports and had like a right into the bone zone. It had a nice bounce, for those of you guys trading indexes. But then look, you made a lower high. Theoretically, right, we should have broken out here, but we made it a lower high, and then we just rugged it. I don't know if I was expecting that, to be honest. We were short some names, but it was like, well, not at the open and not here. We had to kind of chase these things down a little bit before I was like, fuck, we got a short. So it was a tricky day, It was a tricky day. The price action has changed. So, for example, in the past, if the PPI came in at match or slightly better than expected, the market would have gapped up and then followed through. And at some point, maybe it pulls back, right? But not 10 minutes into the day, and not all the way, and not a red roll. And dude, we were down about 0.5%, give or take. And then, we did have a ramp, right? We did have a ramp, but then boom, there was a rug. And so there's volatility is in the air, but patterns are failing. And so the price action has changed, and you guys need to adjust with that. What you used 1 month ago does not work now. I repeat, whatever you used 1 month ago to play this trend, hey, I'm doing small caps, quantums, throwing shit at the wall, Bitcoin stocks. Yeah, that's a risk on market. The market is telling us now that, right, we're having a little bit of a fandazzle. Now, that doesn't mean we're getting into a bear market or nothing like that. No, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a little bit of this kind of October or May surprise, right, where everything looked hunky dory, and then you kind of had this burp. Everything looked hunky dory, and then you kind of had this burp. That is a natural thing in the markets, by the way. It's not like some end of the world stuff. This is what markets do. They go up too much, and then they come down. But the price action is worrying because if you're a bull, because the gaps are fading. Look at Tesla today, right? Huge close, gaps up to 420. Normally in the hot market, the chasers would be up on this shit, right? They'd be buying it pre-market highs, whatever, right? And then you got this it closed damn near lows, man. I think it's 396 after hours. Yeah, man, it closed near lows. That's a big turnaround, right? You gave back all the gains. And you had multiple support spots that had just knifed through. I thought it would hold. We took some, on the breakout and then the pullback to the 9. I caught it a couple points on it, and then it just right, just fucking rugged. And what are you going to do, right? You take your gains as you can get them. But, was I expecting this to drop down 30 points? Not at all. I mean, I was trying to long this thing, But, that's the price action. It's changed. So just kind of be mindful of these things. It's not the end of the world, but I think, maybe it's something this over here in September or, August, where you're just kind of you're getting these kind of once every couple months fugazis, and you just have to roll with it. So the watch list is going to be short today. And the reason it's going to be short is that, you can't really trust any gap ups and breakouts. And so we got to wait for earnings season to come. I think that, tomorrow we're going to have some JP Morgan. Who would disturb the Lord's work right now, You got boom, 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 boom. So you got this bad boy coming up here. This is going to have earnings, I believe, tomorrow, right? Fuck yeah. And then you got Citigroup going to have earnings. And I'm curious on how these all act, because if you look at the XLF, right, you've kind of got a little bit of a downtrend here. Maybe this will give us a clue. Now, normally banks are not really the hottest stocks to trade, but like this will kind of give us a clue to maybe what the earnings season is going to, turn out to be. Beyond that, I think that you want to have really short lists because almost all stocks look like shit right now, pun intended, right? Like everything is broken down from where it was in a month ago. Like this is your speculative market and now this is your normal market, right? And so you get all these runs and like all these beautiful runs and then, right, they deflate. The market goes down 3-4%. All these stocks go down 30, 40, 50%, right? That's the name of the game. So we want to just stick with kind of, I think, the big ones. If we can get Tesla at the 50-day moving average, I think that's probably, right, a nice look. Palantir sitting here right at the 50-day moving average. Maybe that's a nice look. I want to stick with really liquid names. We did see a little bit of a pop here in the quantum stocks, right? Probably worth an eye on is like this PDYN I thought was actually acted pretty well today. RGTI is just a gelatinous turd, but the volume was there. There's been a lot of options buying that probably has to, kind of clear through. Once it kind of gets back up here, it'll refade. But you may have some action on this tomorrow too. Once again, this is not an investment thing. If you're going to really swing trade this, you needed to get this thing down here, right? You can't just buy this thing up at 9 unless you're just day trading. So look, if these two and this one hold, then maybe we try to bounce some, maybe we try to bounce a little Soundhound, right? I mean, we try to bounce a little Soundhound for the ladies and see what's going on. Beyond that, I think a big tell will be TSM. It's on the 16th. It's just sitting here on support. If this breaks out and it actually holds, then that's probably good for the markets. But look, its gaps are fading off pretty significantly too, right? 7-8 points today. If that happens on breakout on its earnings days, this market's probably fucked. Hood, I think this one's got a good look to it. You got a nice flat top breakout over here. Not many stocks that are like still left holding up here. Now look, flat top breakouts are not necessarily the hottest plays right now, because the market's not doing so well. So you want to be careful. You want to get good locations on this and sell if it doesn't work. NBIS, I've been talking about this since 27, 28. I've got some in my swing account down over here, and I've been looking to fucking add. This would have been the spot right here is this inside day. But, dude, you got a breakout setting up here. And, look at all the volume accumulation, rising volume. It's bucking the market up 3% today, 10% the day before. Like this is how a good stock should act. Keep this on your watch list too. And look, if we need some faders, AMD's at RMD, you got a bear flag right here. And the gaps on this have been fading up too, right? NVIDIA's basically a bear flag too. Its strength is getting faded off. You got a little breakdown setting up. All eyes on CPI tomorrow, guys. All eyes on CPI tomorrow. If CPI comes in good, market's going to gap and grind. If it comes in as expected or, slightly worse, then the market's probably going to do a little bit more of today where it's like, I think this is just a strictly day traders market currently, besides maybe NBIS, maybe a couple other names. It's a day traders market. Look at this. The volatility, the range is just too big, right? It's hard to just sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to buy XYZ. If risk is off, if you buy something speculative, it could open down 20% the next day. So just be mindful of that. Be careful. Guys, that short watch list, I don't think we got to do much here. All these kind of things that, look, breakouts and stuff are failing, right? We need to just see what this CPI does. Be prepared to fade. Be prepared to long. I repeat, I think this is a day trader's market for just a little bit of time. And when we get our locations, that kind of extreme market breadth, then, we'll come in with the swings. But minus a couple names, I don't know if anything really looks that good for a swing. All right? So I love you guys. Peace.